Okay. Still getting a few things sorted out here, and then I will hit the ground running. Let's see. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure that's correct. Bring that over here. And then, okay, there we go. Make sure I didn't get muted. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, per usual, I'll give it a couple minutes for people to join in, and we'll go from there. Hopefully, let me check something. Check if this is where I make sure that my connection isn't all goofy. It looks like we're good there, so that's good to see. How you doing, Santino? Jeez. Okay. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in as always. I know we got a different Friday night edition of a live stream, but again, I appreciate you guys for stopping by and checking out things. And like I said, we'll run a couple of mock races, and then obviously give you some sneak peeks of. Pardon me. I've been doing a quick fantasy football draft from my folks at work. Don't mind that. So. But yeah. Let's see. Manitubes, Corvette, how we doing? How we doing? I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza and have beaten it 100%. Oh wow, nice. I was wondering. I've seen some gameplay of that game. I've heard it's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Rise Toasted, how we doing? So yeah, we'll run a couple of mock races, and in between the mock races, I will showcase a couple of sneak peeks. Racing Infinity, I'm aiming to get it out in 2 weeks. I'm hoping to get SNL out by the end of September, but I'm not going to set the exact date yet because I don't want to rush and hype it up until it's for sure ready. So, I will say with Sunday Night Lights 2001 is we have 4 out of the 6 series done. So, we're making great progress. I figured I'd let you guys know now. We have 4 of the 6 series done so far. So, things are coming along good, and we'll give you an exact date when we feel confident about that set date. Again, don't want to rush things. We want to make sure for sure that it's ready. So, and then like I said, we're hoping within the couple weeks, we'll get the next Racing Infinity out. Of course, I do plan on working on that video this weekend, and while next week while I'm in St. Louis, obviously I will be a gateway for those races. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and all that good stuff. So let me take care of Nice. I minimized my window and it just mutes me. I really wish Streamlabs wouldn't do that, but I really don't know how to fix it. So what can you do? Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool. So the first race that I would like to do is going to involve our 2000 Super Truck Series. With that being said, let me double check a couple of quick things before I confirm I want to run this roster. There we go. There we go. Real life events. That's something where I'll say we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, you know, I'm gonna stay silent on it for now, and then I'll kind of let you guys see what happens there. But yeah. Let's see. Alright, so the first race I'll do is going to involve our truck series, as I mentioned before. And I figured with the, how do I say it, the timing of the recent schedule releases, that I figured this could be a really fun option to do. And I have decided we are going to race at St. Petersburg. So, again, I just figured with the timing of it, it would be appropriate to do such a thing. Let me see here. Is 18 laps going to be plenty, or do I want to do 20? It's 1.8 miles. 18 laps sounds pretty short. Let's do 20. I'm gonna run it. I've been like quickly scattering to get things going here, so I'm just gonna run a quick test and then we'll get going here because I want to make sure the AI doesn't act all goofy. This might be a situation where I might have to turn off yellow flags, just because it's how road courses can be sometimes. Yeah, I think it's good, and I just realized I wasn't even with the right roster. But anyway, yeah, I think that'll do. Okay. Let's try it. Alright, so yeah, we're going to St. Petersburg. Alright, so let's see what this all looks like here. Ah, that's how they're going to
drivers to your cars.
Cool. Well, let's look at our starting lineup here. Greg Biffle, Scott Lagasse, we got Scott Riggs, Eric Norris, Ernie Irvin, Ken Schrader, Michael Waltrip, Tim Richmond. That is Scott Bloomquist. We got Chris Trickle, Stacy Compton, Jack Sprague, followed by Brendan Gong, Tony Roper, Butch Gillen, Joe Ruttman, Kurt Busch, Jeff Bodine, Ted Musgrave, Randy Tolsma, Dominic Dobson, Jimmy McMurray, Terry Cook, Sidney Peterson, Robin Gordon, Tony Raines, Barry Bodine, Kenny Irwin Jr., Lance Norick, Derek Cope, Mark Gibson, Randy McDonald, Mike Bliss, Rick Crawford, Rick Corelli, Carlos Contreras, Ernie Cope, Coy Gibbs, Dennis Setzer, Doug George, Ryan McGlynn, and David Starr. Yep, we are racing at St. Petersburg. Although, has anyone made Speedway Boulevard in NR? That's a good question. I never really thought about that. I don't know if anybody has. Maybe somebody did, and I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head, but, you know, it's a joke. Oh, no, you're good, but I don't know. That'd be cool to try at some point if somebody made that. But, yeah. Again, I hope you guys are having a good... I hope you guys have had a good week. Okay, I have NR up? Yeah, I do. Okay. So with that being said, yeah, I hope you guys have had a good week. Yeah, I know people have made the Talladega infield. I know that. Which could be a fun option to do at some point as well. There's a few goofy infield road courses I wish people would have made, but yeah, what can you do?
Drivers, start your engines.
Let's see. All right, let's get the ball rolling. I'm gonna multitask and all that fun stuff. We got the Cup Series playoffs starting this weekend at Darlington. It's a neat little camera shot there. Speaking of which, how do you guys feel about the Truck Series actually going to St. Petersburg? I think it's cool. I'm down for it. You know, that was something that kind of, you know, it came out of nowhere. But honestly, I like it. I think it's cool. So. Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know, splitting the weekend with IndyCar. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how crazy that race gets. I think the Truck Series schedule's got like 5 road courses, so it'll be chaos. I'm all in for it. Exactly, yeah. I don't mind. It'll be fun. That's how I see it. It'll be fun. That Pace truck looks nice. Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So, oh yeah, San Diego. I'm definitely looking forward to that. The Coronado Naval Base. That's going to be. I think that's going to be a blast for sure. All right, we got 20 laps in our first mock race. Let's see how this goes. And we're underway. And Scott Legacy will clear Greg Biffle right away. Oh, we got some contact. That doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised if we get an early caution just because of the amount of chaos we see here at the beginning. It looks like McMurray ran into Mike Bliss. I think that's what happened there. I just heard some more contact, but we're still moving. Got some cases of some 3-wide action. I don't know if that's a good idea. Kurt Busch in the wall as I'm trying to race back to get to that truck, and the caution is out. Let's see what happened to Kurt Busch here. Oh man, he just went wide and hit the edge of the tire barrier there. That is really unfortunate. Man. And like that, his day is already done. Like I said, I did a test him. It did an early caution, and it was fine after that. So, hopefully that's what it does. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be like, say, what? Anyway. Because, you know, woo! Road course racing. Yeah, what is something that, speaking of the 2026 schedule, what else is something that you guys are looking forward to? Like I said, San Diego's going to be fun. Watkins Glen in May, that's going to be very interesting. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. So, I'm so used to that race running in, like, August or July. Or, of course, it was a playoff race last year. So, very interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind shaking things up, like I've said, you know, just see what happens. Really just twist things around, see what works, see what doesn't, kind of experiment with things. So, kind of multitasking. Let's see, Chicagoland being back. Yeah, it's always good to see a track make a comeback. And obviously you still want to be in the Chicago market, so, it's good that we're still there. It'll be interesting to see what the racing will be like there after, it's been like 5 or 6 years. And not only that, I'm curious to see if, because they've said that, they're working to bring the street race back in 27, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there and what they do. 2027 could be interesting. Yeah. Seeing if Mexico comes back, Chicago, do we get Montreal? Yeah. And Homestead is the finale, yeah. Of course, I'm excited that they're going to start rotating the finale. I think that's a smart idea. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they kind of go. Where else they decide to go for the finale and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's pretty neat they're going to race on a naval base. I think that's pretty awesome. Lights off of the pace truck, and we'll get things back up and running here at St. Petersburg. Coronado's the closest thing to Dockside. Ah, Dockside, yeah. It's kind of funny how so many years ago, NASCAR on a street circuit felt like a fantasy, but now it's been a reality, and I'm really glad I got to go to Chicago this year. That was so much fun. Like I said, that was just a whole new experience for me to see something like that, to, see NASCAR racing, something that I've never really seen in person, That was pretty cool. Just kind of look, like I said, I was looking around downtown Chicago. I'm like, there's a NASCAR race going on here. Right here in downtown Chicago. That's insane. And I love it. So, I don't know. To me, I still think events like that are good for NASCAR. So I think San Diego's going to go really well. And it's going to be really exciting to see all 3 series race there as well. Not just Cup and Xfinity, but the trucks are going to join them too. So you know, I'm down for that. As Mr. Legacy continues to pull away, Ernie Irvin up to second. Looks like he got around Greg Biffle there. Followed by Waltrip, Richmond. How about Bloomquist? Doing pretty well on the street circuit today. To Scott Riggs as well up there. So is Brendan Gong. Things appear to have calmed down since the beginning of the race. So hopefully we'll get some racing underneath our belts, or, you know, the caution could come out again. Oh boy. Don't trick me now, NR. I know what you're doing. I don't like it when cautions breed cautions. Looks like... Wow, okay. Kenny Irwin did the same thing to Coy Gibbs. Well, this time Coy Gibbs got collected, but yeah, Kenny Irwin's day is done. Actually, I want to check. Did the 18 make contact with the 1, or is that just the 18 being an innocent victim? I want to come back. I want to go back and... No, that was Kenny Irwin's doing, and Coy Gibbs just became an innocent victim. Yeah, iRacing, they're making an IndyCar game. Yeah, I'm glad IndyCar's getting their own game. Obviously, you know, the whole thing with motorsport games kind of fell flat, so it's good to see that IndyCar's finally getting their own game. And I'm assuming, are you guys looking to get NASCAR 25 when it comes out in October? For me, I am hoping this race does not turn into a wreck fest, because when I simulated, it didn't do that, so I'm hoping it doesn't do that, and if so, I apologize. I'm excited that Arca's going to be in the game. Maybe if we get real gameplay footage and not just pictures on a TV screen. That is one thing I will say. I would love to see some actual, like, gameplay. Because I've seen, like, a bunch of YouTubers and other people like, look, the game looks so cool. Look at me playing it. And I'm like, cool. Pictures look great. Can I see some actual, like, gameplay? You know, like... Show me like a 10-minute video. Just show me what everything looks like, you know? I just want to see it. That's all. So at least give us an idea of, you know, some of the gameplay and what it'll actually look like instead of just, you know, you're showing a bunch of people playing it, but now we really I want to see, like, you know, what it all looks like. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, ARCA being represented, I didn't know if that was going to happen or not, so I'm down for it, honestly. I love it. Nice to see ARCA get a little representation. Alright, we're going back racing here. Please do not cause another caution right after. Please. This is why in some cases for road courses, I have turned off cautions before, just because, like, it's one little wreck, then a caution comes out, they go racing, then a caution comes out, then they go racing, you know. Whenever I have instances of that when I do races, I will restart the race if I feel like, okay, yeah, this race is getting a little out of hand with the cautions and everything else. The short tracks have always been some of the trickiest ones for sure. You know, it's always been rough with short tracks, so. Okay, here's to hoping nobody dies on that corner this time. I forgot which corner it was, but should be right up ahead here. Right. Where was it? Right here, right? Yeah. Okay, let's see. We're getting through, we're getting through, we're getting through, we're getting through. Alright. We made it through. Offline league racing tends to shut off cautions. Yeah, and honestly, I don't blame you for that. It just depends how well, like, I know the track. Like, okay, this track's a little tricky, or this track's pretty mellow, so, you know, I'll have them on. But, yeah. Alright, we're 8 laps in. Scott Legacy still leads. Ernie Irvin is second. Greg Biffle third. Looks like... excuse me. Jesus. Anyway. What was I saying? Michael Waltrip, Tim Richmond, they were battling for position there. Looks like Richmond now has taken 4th place. Waltrip's teammate there, Scott Bloomquist. There's Riggs, Gong, Sprague, Eric Norris. Quick run through the field. Things still looking pretty good. Already nearing the halfway point, and Legacy's pulling away with a 2-second lead. That threw me off. Hold on here. Yeah, I apologize earlier if you heard the ESPN fantasy draft thing going off. I had a fantasy draft with some guys at work, so I wanted to get that wrapped up as quick as I could. So if you heard that dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun in the background, that's what it was. Legacy has pulled away. It's been a crazy few months for that game. Now people are excited, but oh boy, we have people saying it'll make Ignition look like NT 2004 is going wild, not just Twitter. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens when the game comes out, right? So, you know, I don't want to get all too crazy. Obviously, I'm just curious what everything's going to look like and what can we expect and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. Again, my biggest thing is, you know, I've seen so many, like, a lot of YouTubers saying, like, you know, oh, you know, I play the game and they talk about it. I'm like, that's great. I just, you know, I want to see some full-on, like, gameplay. You know what's funny? If I remember correctly, I think Legacy has a bit of sports car racing in his background, doesn't he? Yeah, Scott Legacy was a SCCA driver earlier in his career. So this actually checks out. Yeah, he is looking like SVG. That's hilarious, yeah. He currently owns Team SLR with his son Scott Lagasse Jr. Yeah, so Scott Lagasse was the 1985 and 86 SCCA national champion. Oh, and he's from St. Augustine, Florida, so there you go. From the other side of the state, of course, St. Petersburg is more towards Tampa. He's from St. Augustine, which is near Jacksonville. Because I was just thinking to myself, like, wait a minute. If I remember correctly, Scott Lagasse actually has some, like, sports car racing in his background, and I was absolutely correct. So, yeah, this absolutely checks out. It's like the game knew. It's like the game's like, yeah, Scott Lagasse, he's got a background, you know. That's pretty funny. Current young NASCAR driving talents have worked with the Lagasses and Team SLR, including Carson Quaffle, Sammy Smith, Connor Mosack, William Sawalich, Austin Green, Sam Mayer, Corey Day, and Jack Wood. Other NASCAR personalities who have raced with Team SLR include team owner and former driver Justin Marks and current Cup Series driver Daniel Suarez. His son turned out to be a solid super speedway guy. Yep, I remember Scott Lagasse Jr., yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just never came across to us of the idea of him doing stock GT, but I'd say could be an option for the future. Who knows? You know, the possibility's there. But overall, I mean, you know, and then again, you know, he's been doing full-time truck racing, but, you know, it is kind of cool to read up on stuff like that. And I think this also just comes to show how more relevant and prominent I think road course racing is going to be. Like, you know, I don't expect like 2/3 of the Cup schedule to make up road courses, but more so like you're seeing the way drivers like Connor Zilisch, Brent Cruz, that Tristan McKee kid, and how they're coming up through Trans Am racing, right? And you know, they're using other series like ARCA and late models to get better on the ovals, but I think that's a really interesting way of developing drivers, and I think you're going to see more of that down the road. So that's just something that I've been really fascinated by. Let me see. In 2025, Team SLR elevated its long-standing relationship with General Motors by becoming, quote, an official driver development partner of Chevrolet Motorsports. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't realize that. Yeah. So, nice. It's pretty cool to see the Lagasses still involved with motorsports very well, even to this day. That's pretty cool. So, it's kind of crazy because in real life, Scott Lagasse only ran like a handful, 24 races from 95 to 96. He only ran a couple seasons, but because he's been pretty successful and he's won a lot, he's just stuck around for that reason. He's always been competitive, so, you know, it's been cool to watch. And obviously it's going to be really interesting to see when his son comes into the scene, which will probably be in a few seasons, But yeah, this is funny. This actually checks out pretty well for for Scott Lagasse. So he's just cruising away. My question though is, when are they gonna pit? I hope they don't pit with like 3 to go. Oh well, if it does, it does. And then after this race, I'll talk more about Racing Infinity and Sunday Night Lights as well, and show off a couple things there. Yeah, 6-second lead. Good lord. He might be able to pit and still keep the lead if he keeps this up. Let's see, has that lead grown at all? Still 6 seconds, but like I said, it's a pretty easy day, and Mr. Legacy's in cruise control. Oh, look at this. 3 wide for second. Irvin, Richmond, and Sprague. Where did this come from? Oh, my God. Man, if only this was for the lead, right? See Bloomquist trying to get around Waltrip there as Richmond is going to sneak his way into second for the time being, but Ernie Irvin, 1999 Cup Series champ, he is still battling with them. They are side by side. Sprague backs away. Oh, Ernie Irvin scrapes the wall coming off the corner there. That's gonna help. He's gonna lose some momentum for sure. And Richmond's gonna clear him. We got this battle back here for 6th place. That's Michael Waltrip and Scott Bloomquist. How about Scott Bloomquist having a solid run? Usually you'd think, he's a dirt ringer, a dirt ace. Maybe he's good on the short tracks. Of course, he got that win at Texas World. But how about this? Look at him running well on a street circuit. That's pretty exciting to see for the dirt legend, Scott Bloomquist. Also, Alpha Sierra. I haven't yet, just because of my own time, but if people want them, I can definitely go back and release them for sure. It was just, I've been working on other things and just had stuff going on. Last weekend had a little quick trip to St. Louis, which I'm going back to again here next week. But yeah, if you guys definitely want them, I will absolutely work on releasing them. So I'll definitely do that. Looks like Bloomquist and Waltrip are still battling, but I think looks like Bloomquist is going to clear him. And that is for 6th place, while Legacy's lead has now gone up to almost 8.5 seconds. You see Richmond and Sprague, 2nd and 3rd there. Ernie Irvin has now dropped to 4th. They only gained just a little bit of ground on Legacy, but they're definitely going to need more than that. And here we go. Jack Sprague into turn 1 and turn 2. Jack Sprague looking to get around Tim Richmond now into turns 3 and 4. Side by side for 2nd here. Can Sprague get a run going? Richmond holding his own. Jack Sprague, a veteran in the Truck Series. Richmond, an overall NASCAR veteran. Duking it out here for 2nd. Richmond manages to avoid the wall there, unlike Irvin. Thought he was going to right there. And looks like Jack Sprague will take 2nd from Tim Richmond. So, a good effort there by the 25 truck of Sprague, and now he's going to try and see if he can distance himself from Richmond, but again, they got a long way to go if they want to catch Scott Legacy, who has just been outright dominating this race. 8-second lead for him, as we have 4 laps to go here at the line, as we're getting down to the wire here in St. Petersburg. Legacy is now up by 8.6 seconds as we have been watching this fun battle between, it's about 2nd through 7th. Sprague distances himself from Richmond now. Battle here for 5th. That's the 50 of Greg Biffle and the 3 of Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist putting on a clinic here today. there. Had to scramble to get some dinner going. Finally finished it. Scott Bloomquist now up to 5th place. Meanwhile, Scott Legacy is just about a straightaway ahead. Well, gained just about a second that time almost. Very interesting. Perhaps Legacy's just trying to lay low now. He's got a far enough of a lead. Three laps remain here in St. Petersburg. Three trucks currently out of the race. The 1 of Kenny Irwin Jr., the 64 Jimmy McMurray, and the 29 of Kurt Busch. Now Scott Bloomquist is going to try and work on the 84 truck of Ernie Irvan. Irvan, of course, has become a pretty successful owner here in the Super Truck Series. While Scott Bloomquist is trying to leave his mark and make a name for himself here as well. Sprague and Richmond have checked out from the group of trucks that are 4th and 5th. Another second gained on Legacy. Two laps to go. Legacy's lead is down to 6.3 seconds. There's Jack Sprague now. Of course, Tim Richmond. And look at this. Scott Bloomquist, Ernie Irvan. How about this? Bloomquist really doing an excellent job here today. Potentially could finish this with a top 5 finish and then some, as he's going to pull away from Irvan and clear that 84 truck. Nearly touched the wall there, but Bloomquist was able to pull away, and I don't think he's going to be able to catch Richmond. That's a 4-second gap, but still very impressive run from that number 3 truck. And meanwhile, Scott Legacy takes the white flag. Carlos Contreras is on pit road. Some trucks have actually been pitting. There's probably a lot of folks in the back. Very interesting as we're on the final lap here. There's Scott Legacy. There's Tim Richmond. Looks like our main leaders have not pit, so they're going to try and get to the end here. It's Waltrip and Biffle battle for 6th place. Scott Bloomquist, meanwhile, trying to hold off Ernie Irvan with a 4th place finish, perhaps. Biffle and Waltrip continue to battle. Waltrip looking for 6th. Meanwhile, all eyes on the 51 Superflow Chevrolet Silverado. That's Scott Legacy. Still a 5-second lead. As he rounds the final corner and back to the start-finish line. Here he comes. Checkered flag waves. And there is your winner. Scott Legacy dominates to a win at St. Petersburg. Jack Sprague finishes in 2nd. There's Tim Richmond in 3rd. Scott Bloomquist, 4th place. No, Jet, nobody has flipped into the water, thankfully. So, it sucked to have to get the Coast Guard to fish the truck out. Ernie Urban 5th. Michael Waltrip is 6th. Greg Biffle is 7th. Jeff Bodine 8th. Barry Bodine 9th. Eric Norris rounding out your top 10. And that is... And here's the... By the way, the rest of your finishing order, although it is not final yet. Some of the trucks, of course, are still coming across the line. But for now, that is what your running order looks like. And once again, Scott Lagasse takes home the dub. A Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 finish in St. Petersburg. And obviously, I'm really excited to see the real-life Craftsman Truck Series take to the streets of St. Petersburg next spring. Alright, the standings are now official. So, here's your top 10. Chris Trickle was 11th. Schrader 13th. Peterson 14th. Butch Gillen 17th. Robin Gordon 20th. Tony Roper 23rd. And there's the rest of your final results. Once again, as you saw there, 3 trucks DNF from this race. Kenny Irwin Jr., Jimmy McMurray, and Kurt Busch did not finish this race. But overall, the race was able to calm down after a couple of cautions. We had ourselves a dominating performance from Scott Lagasse. And I can tell the leaders have ran out of gas. So I put 2X on, so I'm kind of impressed they went that far. Because some of the trucks in the back ended up pitting, but the leaders didn't. So, oh well. Nothing you can do now. The race is official. The race is over. So, yep. So congrats to Scott Lagasse, and that's how things are going to wrap up there. So, all right. Let's see. It's always funny when they all just kind of sit there on pit road after the race is over, and it's like, oh, they all ran out of gas, but it's like it doesn't really matter. But what can you do? Alright, I do have an idea for our next race, but of course, before we get to that, let's see. Yeah, that works. That works. And then it'll be a cup race. I'll tell you what that race is here in a bit. So before anything else, I'll make sure this is the right set. Alex, that is the Busch Series set. There's your cup set, buddy. All right, perfect. All right. With that being said, the first thing I want to do that reminds me. There we go. The first thing I want to show you guys is the Racing Infinity teaser. So as I mentioned before, it was a part 2. So let's see if I can, whoops. There we go. So obviously, like usual, I will not say anything, but I figured I'd show you guys what to look ahead for in the upcoming Racing Infinity volume number 37. And like I said, the plan is to get this out hopefully within the next couple weeks. That is the plan. And then after that, of course, will be Sunday Night Lights 2001. And I will show you guys a first look at that here in a moment. So, So I think you guys can probably tell, or at least get a good idea of what the next Racing Infinity will be. It will be a part 2, sequel to one that I think turned out really well and was pretty popular amongst you guys. So I figured we'd run it back with this one. So I think for sure it'll be a fun one. And I think we're shaping things up for this to look really good. So I'm really excited about that. So there is your Racing Infinity sneak peek. Because I really wanted to get you guys, I want to give you guys some sneak peeks, and, I don't want to leave you guys in the dark, obviously, so build up some hype for that. And like I said, I want to get this out, hopefully in the next couple weeks, get that video out, and after that, go full on with SNL 2001 and make that the best video that it can be, for sure. So, yeah. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Got about almost 20 viewers, so I appreciate that. Let's see. Is that already in? Perfect. So with that being said, if this doesn't goof up the way it does, let's move on now to our second sneak peek. Here's a little first look at what's to come for Sunday Night Lights 2001. I'll let that loop for a little bit. I appreciate Jet for putting this together. It looks fantastic, so yeah, I'll let that play out a few more times. I think, personally, I think 2001 is... I think it's shaping up to be a really exciting season, for sure. Considering how, when a lot of people talk about 2001 in real life, I'm looking forward to seeing, everything else that this season plays out. So, like I said, 4 out of the 6 series is done. I'm hoping for the end of September. But I'm not going to give you guys a solid date just yet because, again, I want to make sure that, I don't want to rush it and hype it up until, again, I know for sure that, yes, this is the date we're going to do. It's going to be ready by this day. So, I think we've gotten a lot of progress made. Again, we've had 4 of the 6 series done, so there's that. Yes, you noticed Twizzlers. Yep. I'm not going to say much about what they are, but again, it's a little look at what you're going to see in 2001. So yeah, there's again, sneak peek for Racing Infinity Volume 37. And then, of course, here, Sunday Night Lights 2001. And then here in a bit, I will get the second mock race going. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get out by like 10, just because I have an early shift tomorrow at work. But we'll see how things go there. But yeah, I'll let that play out one more time for you guys. And so yeah, you see Twizzlers in there, UPS, Caterpillar. Again, it's always the goal to make every season bigger than the last, so we're pretty excited about 2001 and how things are shaping up to be. So I think we already have some pretty big moments with what we have done so far, and there's still plenty of more to come. So, I think things are shaping up pretty fun. So I'm looking forward to putting all that together and just seeing what everything's going to look like. So there's that. 1 year, infinite possibilities. Welcome to NASCAR's biggest year. 2001 coming soon. So there you go. And once again, there is the sneak teaser for Racing Infinity Volume 37 as well. Yeah, you notice Caterpillar there. Yep. Again, I'm not going to say what it is or give anything away, but I think you guys are going to love what you see. So, I think you guys are going to love it. All right. Let me get this race going here. Make sure I have the right set. Let's see. Well, you guys can look at that. I am going to run a quick sim and make sure things look good. Let's see. But yeah, you noticed Taz the Tasmanian Devil, you noticed Caterpillar, you noticed Twizzlers. Of course, you know, we were trying to not give too much away, but try and give some pretty unique and, you know, subtle hints there, so. Okay, interesting. I think this works. We'll do 88 laps then. Okay. I'll do it real quick here. I notice the UPS car is a Pontiac. Figured I'd show that again real quick, and then I'll hop into our next mock race. It'll be the Sunday Night Lights 2000 Winston Cup Series at a track that is not opened yet in the SNL timeline. Let's see. And that track will be Iowa Speedway. So we'll run 88 laps at Iowa and go from there. Okay. Make sure all that's good. All right. Let's do some racing in Iowa, shall we? Corn! Yeah. But yeah, hope you guys are excited for that. Again, I think 2001 is shaping up to be a really big season. Get a quick drink there. And again, I hope you guys have a wonderful Labor Day weekend as well coming up here.
Drivers, to your cars.
All right, so Shauna Robinson and Rob Moroso are on the front row. About the Dodge question, I won't give it away, but obviously, as you know, you're going to see Dodge have a bigger presence. As of course, we talked about the Winston Cup stuff, and we'll get more into some of the Dodge details as we get to that video as well, so stay tuned for that. Alright,
Drivers,
so
to your cars.
here's our starting lineup. Shauna Robinson on the pole, followed by Rob Moroso. Then you got Ernie Irvin, Kyle Petty, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Green, Paige Jones, Patty Moyes, Kelly Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Alan Kowicki, Jerry Nadeau, Davey Allison, Tommy Kendall, Tim Steele, Chad Little, Tony Stewart, and his boss next to him, Dale Earnhardt. You got Super Rusty. You got the two beer cars, Miller Lite and Coors Light. Bill Elliott next to him. Joe Nemechek, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Then you got Ricky Rudd, Bubba Nissen, Mark Martin, John Nemechek, Eddie Bierschwell, Terry Schoonover, Wally Dallenbach, Casey Elliott, Sterling Marlin, Kenny Brack, Tammy Jo Kirk, Rick Mast, Bobby Hamilton, Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte, Kenny Wallace, Jeremy Mayfield, Alan Sir Jr., and Darrell Waltrip. All right. It's a beautiful evening in Newton, Iowa. And it's set to be a fun one. We'll go 88 laps of racing at the Iowa Speedway, a track that Rusty Wallace helped design, fun fact. All right, here we go with the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
As somebody who's been watching the tow car videos, at least that was not Jason Pace. Good job by her at the command to fire the engines, and we roll out and get ready to go here in Iowa. All right. The 2000 Sunday Night Lights Winston Cup Series set to go racing for 88 laps. Here in the Great Midwest, here at Iowa Speedway. Here we go. Robinson, Moroso, Irvin, Petty. They will lead us to the green flag. And here we go. We are underway in Iowa. Robinson got a little loose there, but she's able to keep that going. Trying to clear for the lead. Interesting. A couple cars on that outside line were scraping the front stretch wall. And we already have ourselves a caution to kick things off. Well, that didn't take long. Ooh. Looks like Alan Sir Jr. Kenny Wallace got into the wall. Slapped the right side of the 23 machine of Darrell Waltrip there. Oh boy. Man, bouncing off the wall like I bounce off the wall coming off of the corner at Bristol in NASCAR games. I'm not even joking. I've always struggled with that. So Darrell Waltrip on pit road, unfortunately, he suffered a lot of damage to the right side of that Tide Ford. But looks like he's up and running again, so that's good to see. Arnie Irvin has made his way to second. I have not used this track in a while, so I didn't... That's interesting. I only have the difficulty at 93 or 94, and leaders are scraping off the wall relatively easily, so that's a little interesting and something to note later on down the road. So again, after just a couple laps, the caution came out. Oh yeah, did you guys see I Show Speed riding along with Carson Hocevar at Daytona? What do you guys think about that? I'm not surprised Hocevar was the guy to do that. I mean, you know, I Show Speed's one of the biggest content creators out there, so to me that's kind of that's a pretty big deal for the sport right there. So that's pretty cool to see that. Hopefully Carson Hocevar doesn't spear him like Braun Breaker did. Oh wow, wait, did I Show Speed actually get into a racing experience car himself? Oh wow. I couldn't begin to imagine what it's like driving on the high banks of Daytona like that, man. Alright, we're back underway at Iowa. And we are 6 laps in. Shauna Robinson continues to lead the way. Ernie Irvin second, looking for the lead here. Rob Moroso in third. Robinson holding her own pretty well. You see Matt Kenseth and Paige Jones, 4th and 5th. Kyle Petty 6th, Jeff Green 7th. You see Patty Moyes, Kelly Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, and Alan Kowicki all up there. Did caution come out again? I didn't even realize that. Oh, goodness. Okay. What in Davy Jones' locker happened here? Okay, so... Wow, the 16 and the 85 with a great save, but that did not matter. Oh, jeez. Oh, Bill Elliott. Oh, man, the big one is struck at Iowa. Oh, Darrell Waltrip. Good Lord. Darrell Waltrip's day just goes from bad to worse, just like that. Again, you saw Bill Elliott ride the wall, then take a tumble. The 8, the 9, the 59, all those guys are just innocent victims. ARCA breaks indeed. So yeah, the 16, the 85 get together coming off turn 2, and none of them just let up at all. And that's your result. Yeah, poor Darrell Waltrip. His day just went from bad to worse, being involved in the first 2 incidents of the day so far. I mean, what do you do in this instance? You know, you gotta slow up here, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, jeez. Just packing the back of the 77 of Rick Mast there, and just like that, his day's done. Let's go on board with Mr. Bill Elliott. You think, oh, well, I missed that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, never mind. Ow. And then a little tumble-rooski. And back on the wheels. Goodness gracious. Again, just element of surprise here if you're Rick Mast and these guys. Man. Pow. I'm not gonna lie, I want to check on Chad Little, because he was low on the track too when that wreck occurred, so at least I think it was Little. Might have been the 91 actually. No, it was the 97. 97 just went to pit road, so he probably has some sort of problem that he needed to address. We're getting set to go back racing. Shauna Robinson leads, followed by two of the young guns there, Matt Kenseth and Paige Jones. Here we go. We're back underway at Iowa. Hey Red Ben, how's it going? We're just in our second mock race of the night. We're running the Cup Series at Iowa. We did the trucks at St. Petersburg. And after this race, I'll show the two teasers as well again. I'll be sure to do that. Looks like Sterling Marlin's on pit road, and so is Dale Jr. Of course, Jr. had some damage from that previous wreck. So it looks like, again, Sterling Marlin was on pit road. Not sure what was his problem, but or what kind of problem he was having, but Shauna Robinson looking to chase him down with Kenseth and Jones behind her. And you got Jeff Green, Patty Moyes, Ernie Irvin, Kelly Earnhardt, Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, your top 10. Rob Moroso has dropped all the way back to 11th after starting on the front row. Matt Kenseth peeking to the inside of Robinson. Not able to get to her, though. Not able to get to the quarter panel of that 40 machine. And there is the 93 of Paige Jones right there in third. Picked up his first career win at Road America in 2000. Looking to have a good sophomore year in 2001. The same can be said for Matt Kenseth. Looking to improve upon his rookie season as well. And here's Matt Kenseth to the inside of Shauna Robinson. And Kenseth takes the lead, but Paige Jones is there as well, as we have an exciting 3-car battle for the lead. Patty Moyes looking to join in on the mix here. Jones and Kenseth side by side, almost dead even at the line. And that lap will go to Paige Jones, as he's trying to push that Circuit City Ford past the 12 so he can clear him. As Patty Moyes continues to reel them in, as we are almost 1/4 of the way through the race here at Iowa. Ooh, Matt Kenseth scraped the wall there on the outside. That's going to cost him. Jones is cleared. Shauna's looking to clear for second. A Bill Davis Ford, 2 Sapco Pontiacs, and a Penske Ford up here in the mix, as Paige Jones now leads the way here at Iowa Speedway. We come to lap number 26 of 88 here tonight. And then Jeff Green sitting there in 5th. Things have calmed down since the start of the race. Because, you know, when you get a couple quick cautions like that, your biggest fear is, oh no, we're gonna have a ton of cautions now. But thankfully that has not been the case. It appears that William Sawalich won the ARCA race at Portland. I'm kind of bummed that track isn't coming back, just because that was the Pacific Northwest, and those fans are now without a race next year. Meanwhile, Paige Jones has pulled away a little bit from the other leaders as Kenseth and Moyes battle for second here. Shauna Robinson has dropped back to 4th after leading from the start. Excuse me. And Moyes clears for second. Shauna trying to take 3rd back from Kenseth, but looks like Robinson is going to make her way down pit road if nobody hits her. Good Lord, she came in hot. Okay. I'm going to guess this is the beginning of green flag pit stops. Like Shauna is the only leader to make her way down so far. Paige Jones getting by the 9 of Bill Elliott. Yeah, Matt Kenseth's there on pit road as well. Kenseth's crew goes to work on that number 12 DuPont Ford. He's still sitting there on pit road. Took him a minute, but he's now off pit road. Here comes some of the other leaders now. You see Jones, Moroso, Moyes, Green, Irvin. All of them on pit road together. Let's see who's the first to come out from this bunch. Looks like Jones, Moyes, then Moroso. Green and Irvin, though, they're still on pit road. Man, their pit stops are taking forever. Irvin's finally gone, but I'm sure they lost some ground. Jeff Gordon moving Kens at the side. If I can get to the one car here. Patty Moyes. Rusty Wallace gets right in front of her. Man, Rusty Wallace wasting no time at all. That's probably going to slow him up, though, a little bit. And with that, I think that's going to give the lead right back to the 93 car of Paige Jones. And I'm afraid Mr. Rusty Wallace is going to be second place. Let's see if I'm right on that. Caution. I heard something happen. I heard some, oh, Rusty! Rusty is slow. What the heck happened here? Man, Patty Moyes, she must not have liked what Rusty did there. And she just right into the 2 car. Man. It's not Shauna and Rusty this time. It's Patty and Rusty. Because, like, you know, he was leading because of the leader's pit. He comes off pit road. There's Paige Jones. Watch what causes this. Rusty Wallace decides he's going to be quick. He's going to cut right in front of Patty. That slows the 45 and the 1 down. I just can't help but wonder if Patty did not appreciate that too much and just decided to move the 2. Very interesting here. Caution comes out as we approach the halfway point in today's race. Of course, Rusty's going to have to come down pit road to repair some damages. A lot of the leaders are actually coming down pit road again. I see Jeff Green, Jeff Gordon on there. Ken sits down pit road. Irvin. Whoa! Jeff Gordon gets turned by Kyle Petty as Kyle Petty tries to get to his pit box. So it looks like everybody just decided to pit again. What happened there? So we'll take a look at how things are going to look when they reset. I think Patty Moyes will be your leader. Paige Jones is second. I could be wrong. Actually, no. Sterling Marlin is your leader. Terry Schoonover is second. I don't know what their strategies are like. They could be a little different from the other leaders, so I don't know if this is the case, if they're going to pit like right after the restart or what, but yeah. So Moyes is third. Paige Jones is fourth. Then it's Kenny Brack in fifth. Dale Earnhardt sixth. Matt Kenseth seventh. Eighth is Shauna Robinson. Ninth is the 5 machine of Davey Allison, and 10th is Rusty Wallace. I say that Sterling Marlin's going to go down pit road. So that's going to hand the lead to Terry Schoonover for the time being, unless perhaps he has to pit too. So Marlin, instead, he and his team, they elect to go down and pit. It's not, they think it's not worth it to stay out. So for now, that's going to hand the lead over to the Nation's Rent Chevrolet of Terry Schoonover. Lights are off the pace car, so it looks like Schoonover is going to be your leader here when we get back going here in just a moment. 40 laps are complete here at Iowa of the 88 scheduled. How is Terry Schoonover going to do on this restart? It's Schoonover, Moyes, Paige Jones, Kenny Brack, Dale Earnhardt, Matt Kenseth, Shauna Robinson, Davey Allison, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon. That is your top 10. Oops. Headphones came unplugged there. Here we go. Schoonover. Of course, you got lap cars there on the inside, too. Here we go. We are back underway. And Bill Elliott, that inside line doesn't get going right away. And a few of the leaders have been able to escape that mess. And Patty Moyes immediately going for the lead as a couple of cars smacked the wall coming off turn 2. Did not take Moyes long. Excellent driving from her. And she will lead them coming back to the line. Now Paige Jones looks to take second from the 83. And another battle for the lead. Paige Jones wanting to take the lead back as Jones takes it from Moyes. Then you got a few lap cars. Then Shauna Robinson. So right now it's just these 3 cars up front battling for the lead. Terry Schoonover continuing to try and hold his own, but it's still Paige Jones and Patty Moyes leading the front here. 45 laps are complete. We are just past halfway. Matt Kenseth up to 4th, but like I said, he's got some lap traffic. 4 lap cars between he and Schoonover, about to become 3 though. Schoonover trying to keep up the pace, but struggling to do so, and he's going to get passed by some lap traffic here. Matt Kenseth now getting past Schoonover. That's going to be for 3rd place. Meanwhile, Paige Jones has driven away. Just about hitting cruise control here now. But Moyes can easily make her way back up there. There's the 12 of Kenseth. Robinson trying to work her way up now as she gets past Mark Martin in the 16. See Davey Allison and Jeff Gordon making their way through now as contact between the 83 and the 59 as Schoonover continues to drop back. Nearly had a wreck there. Kenseth and Robinson just need to get past Little and Kelly Earnhardt. The opposite 1-2 you see there, the 1999 Daytona 500. Meanwhile, Paige Jones out to a 1.5 second lead. And that lead is building. A very impressive run here as Paige Jones has been the most beneficiary. He's been the one that has benefited the most from that caution and from that restart. Patty Moyes continues to hold her ground, but back behind these two lap cars of Kelly Earnhardt and Chad Little, you got Shauna Robinson, Jeff Gordon, and Matt Kenseth. So both Bill Davis Fords have now entered the top 5. I probably anticipate at least one more round of pit stops taking place before this race is done and over with. Again, after this race, I'll show you guys the sneak peeks again. I'll probably then wrap it up for the night, just because of the early shift I have tomorrow, but hope you guys have been enjoying the stream here tonight. Again, Paige Jones's lead just continues to build and build and build. There is no stopping that Circuit City Ford here tonight. Still can't get over ice show speed. Hopping into a race car with Carson Hocevar. That's crazy. Man, Paige Jones just once again dominating this race. We have 30 laps remaining. Shauna Robinson has now cleared some of the lap traffic. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Green looking to do the same as Robinson looks to battle with her teammate for second place. My question is, does Shauna Robinson have the speed? If she can get around Patty Moyes, does she have the speed to chase down our leader, which is Paige Jones in the 93? Jones now with a 4-second lead. Man, he is just driving away from the field. And as I say that, that lead looks like it's going to be diminished as the caution comes out. And man, Paige Jones, if you're Paige Jones, you do not want to see that. So it looks like it might have been the 36 and the 7 cars. Yep, that's exactly what happened there. And Dallenbach got the worst of it. Kowicki with some heavy damage on the right side of his Hooters Ford. And that's what's going to bring out our caution. Kowicki struggling today, back in 23rd. These are the 23rd and 24th place cars. So let's see if some of our leaders end up pitting. Terry Schoonover actually went to pit road right as the caution came out, so that's definitely interesting. Yeah, indeed, a lot of our leaders. Shauna Robinson going down pit road. Kenny Brack. Ricky Rudd, John Nemechek, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart, Davey Allison. For these guys here, Jeff Green, Kyle Petty, Ernie Irvin, Rob Moroso, Shauna Robinson, was this perhaps the right call to make? Knowing that Paige Jones and those guys still have to pit. So, was this the right call made here? As Robinson and Green and Stewart make their way down pit road, although Shauna Robinson is going back down pit road, so I don't know I don't know what her AI is doing right now. I was like, what's going on here? Okay, that was bizarre. I don't know why her car did that, but I thought for a moment something had went haywire on that 40 machine. Matt Kenseth pits a lap later. It's interesting he didn't decide to come in with the leaders. This restart will be interesting. Because you do have some guys who didn't pit. Like Paige Jones, like Patty Moyes, Jeff Gordon, Jerry Nadeau, Tommy Kendall, Alan Kowicki. That's interesting. Eddie Bierschwell. And then you got Shauna Robinson. So I believe the top 8 are the ones who have not pitted. Although, as I say that, look at this. Paige Jones is now pitting. Patty Moyes is now pitting. Jeff Gordon is now pitting. The top 3 are going down pit road, plus Nadeau. So that's going to give the lead to Jeff Gordon, and Tommy Kendall is going to be second. Well, those leaders might want to hurry up because we have the 1 to go signal and we're on a short track. I think that was definitely a late call by some of those leaders to decide to pit now, unless they feel like if they pitted that late, then perhaps they could make it on fuel and guarantee themselves that. So maybe that's what they were looking to do. Who knows? They're going to have some work to do for sure, and they're going to have to hope that everything falls into their laps accordingly, because now, instead of the 93 of Bill Davis Racing leading, it's the 1 of Bill Davis Racing leading. And that is the McDonald's Ford of Jeff Gordon. You got Tommy Kendall second, Alan Kowicki third, Eddie Bierschwell in fourth. Hopefully Eddie Bierschwell doesn't ruin Jeff Gordon's day again like he did at Chicago. Here we go. We're back underway. Nearly 20 laps of racing to go. And Tommy Kendall immediately has a problem at the restart. Oh my goodness, this is a disaster. Oh, jeez. The caution instantly comes out. Did the 32 just stall or run out of gas? Like, what in the world happened here? Yeah, he didn't get going at all on the restart. There goes the lap traffic. Kowicki goes up high. I don't know if he's had a similar issue, but we're just getting out of the way. Kyle Petty runs into him. That's... yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So it looks like Kenny Brack is going to be your leader now. As Tommy Kendall, he either stalled or ran out of gas at the restart. That did not go well for him. As we are approaching 20 laps to go, we're currently at 22 to go. Of course, Kenny Brack, for some reason, he's been pretty solid on short tracks, so maybe tonight could be his night. Who knows? Let's take a look here. Tommy Kendall is just sitting there in the middle of the track for some reason. We have to get the tow trucks out there for that 32 car. So a Hendrick 1-2. Haven't we seen this before? I'm referring to the first mock race, of course. We had Lagasse and Sprague finishing 1-2, despite Lagasse completely dominating that race. Then it's Robinson, Al Unser Jr. Okay. Although I'm assuming they're going to need to pit, so I don't really know at this point. After what happened there on the previous restart, I'm a little concerned. I don't know what the heck's going to happen, honestly. Let's see. Now at the line, we're going to hit 20 to go. Yeah, it looks like nobody's budging, nobody's pitting, nobody's pitting later than others, whatever. Looks like that's not going to be the case here, so hopefully we have a nice run to the finish here. That's all you can hope for at this point. Again, Kenny Brack remains your leader. So lights are off the pace car. And we're going to get back going here with 19 laps to go. Pace car goes down pit road. Brack, John Nemechek, Robinson, Unser, Moroso, your top five. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Nothing crazy so far. Jeff Green, I don't know if that was the best decision from him. He's going to get held up by that lap car of Elliott as Al Unser Jr. continues to fall back. Bounces off the wall coming off turn 4. And we got ourselves a 3-car battle up front. Kenny Brack, the Swede, John Nemechek, and Shauna Robinson. Two Hendrick drivers looking for their first win. But Robinson chasing down the 51 side by side with him. Looking to clear him for second. Looks like she's going to do so here in a moment. Jeff Green is there in the mix as well, now in 4th. And Tony Stewart in 5th. Robinson clears Nemechek, and now she's going to go to work on Kenny Brack. Something tells me that 40 car is the fastest one on the track. Now that Paige Jones is way back in the field. I don't know where Paige Jones is currently. Looks like he's marked down as 21st currently. I'm sure people would love to see a Kenny Brack win, but I feel like Shauna Robinson, it's only a matter of time, and I am indeed correct. Here she comes. Shauna Robinson takes the lead from Kenny Brack. John Nemechek looking to fight back. Brack sticks to the outside. He's going to lose 2 positions. May lose more. That is a good point there, Doritos and Mountain Dew. That's very true. Shauna Robinson is from Des Moines. So, yeah, this is practically going to be a hometown win for her. And I'm sure with the influence she has in this timeline, she'd be a huge advocate for this track for sure. The crowd's going to love this one if she can hang on. Robinson, the 1998 Winston Cup champion. 2-time winner of the Daytona 500. One of 2 current drivers in the Cup Series who have won all 4 crown jewels. The other one is Alan Kawicki. I did some research on that recently. I don't know if I ever mentioned that before, but Shauna Robinson and Alan Kawicki are the only 2 drivers so far to have won all 4 crown jewels. The Daytona 500, the Coke 600, the Southern 500, and the Brickyard 400. Tony Stewart up to 3rd place now. Where did he come from? Robinson still continues to lead the way. The Iowa crowd cheering her on. She comes off turn 4, 10 laps to go from Iowa. Does anyone have any challenge for the megastar Shauna Robinson? She started on the pole, and she's looking to finish first. Nine laps to go. She begins to pull away from some of the leaders. John Nemechek is second. Tony Stewart is third. Jeff Green is fourth. Rob Moroso is fifth. You take a look there at that Burger King Chevrolet of Nemechek doing all he can. He may have to settle to play some defense to hold off the likes of Stewart, Green, and Moroso. Stewart is just as hungry for a win as Nemechek is. Seven to go. Coming back around to 6 to go this time. John Nemechek trying to reel down Shauna Robinson. Is there an opportunity for that 51 machine? A car that Tim Richmond won quite a lot in. Meanwhile, Jeff Green slides past Tony Stewart. Rob Moroso looking to do the same thing as Stewart is stuck to the outside. Green clears for third, and Stewart scrapes the wall. That may cost him as Moroso looks to get past him. John Nemechek, for a moment, it looked like he had something going, but now he's under pressure from Jeff Green. Robinson just trying to get to the finish. 4 laps remain. John Nemechek continues to hold his ground. The more this battle goes on for second, the more that's going to benefit the 40. Kyle Petty entering the picture now. Kyle Petty and Tim Steele. We got a 3-wide battle up here. That is for, I want to say that's going to be for 4th place. Tim Steele from out of nowhere, as there's still a side-by-side battle for second between Green and Nemechek, as Robinson just trying to do all she can to pull away, and Green is going to clear them, and they're crashing back there. The race is going to end under caution. And Jeff Green's not going to have a chance to get to Robinson. Barring anything crazy, Shauna Robinson will win this race. And again, there was a wreck back behind him. I think Rusty Wallace was involved. The 15 of Tony Stewart, Davey Allison as well. Ooh, Rusty Wallace, Davey Allison. A rare occasion. The man who ends up designing this track involved in a wreck here late in the going. Looks like Wallace just went up the track. Davey actually hits the wall. Comes back down on Wallace. Dale Earnhardt got packed by Kenny Brack. What a tough break there. And good Lord, the 12 got absolutely... Man, they're just hitting... This is... Arc of brakes left and right. What are we doing? What is this? A Cars Tour race? Oh my God. End up turning into a demo derby there. Jeez Louise. It was one thing after another. Schoonover just pile drives the 14, and so does Bierschwell. Good Lord. I don't know what Bierschwell was doing there. Bill Elliott hitting the 85. Good God. Just wrecking all over the place, aren't they? Let's take a look now at the 12 car of Kenseth here. Because he got hit by somebody here. And again, he was running up front earlier. Who hits him here? Was it the 33? Yes, it was. And the 59. Jeez. God. Hope Kelly Earnhardt is alright. She's out of her car, as assumingly shaken up from that incident. Meanwhile, Shauna Robinson is your winner here at Iowa. Home track win for her, despite the huge, pretty much the big one striking at Iowa. Let's see. I eat Little Caesars now because I lost my taste in Marco's Pizza. Oh, really? I don't know. I'm an enjoyer of pizza. You know, kind of like Brayden Laster. All things pizza. But there you have it. Shauna Robinson takes home the win and a wild finish to end this one. There's your final results there. Robinson, your winner. Green second. Jones third. Earnhardt fourth. Nadeau fifth. Allison sixth. Mark Martin seventh. Kawicki eighth. Casey Elliott ninth. Jeff Gordon in 10th. Patty Moyes ends up in 11th. Chad Little finishing in 12th after he was lapped earlier. As you can imagine, a bunch of cars ended up not finishing that race just because of that wreck alone there at the end. Let's see, where did Paige Jones end up finishing? Because I didn't see his name. Because Paige Jones looked strong earlier. That one caution came out, and not the grace of pit strategies, and unfortunately his day does not go the way he wants it. Am I going crazy, or do I not see Paige Jones on here? Oh, he's third. Duh. Okay, Jesus. Paige Jones finishing third. I had an absolute brain fart there. Humiliation there on my part, but that's okay. But yeah, there's your... that is how that race goes. So, there you have that. Goodness. Well, with that, I'll show off this little animation again made by Jet. A little sneak peek for Sunday Night Lights 2001. So, hope you guys enjoyed this stream here tonight. Like I said, I definitely wanted to at least chat with you guys and give you guys some updates. So like I said, we have 4 of the 6 series done for 2001. And again, the plan is end of September, so a month from now, hopefully. So, but we're not going to give an exact date yet until, you know, we are for sure that this is the date we're going to release the video. But I think we're making good progress. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates regarding that. And then, of course, the next Racing Infinity. Plan is within the next couple of weeks we're going to get that video out. I'm going to enjoy my weekend after work tomorrow morning. And then Tuesday I will drive to St. Louis, spend the week there. I'll work on some content while I'm at it. And spend some time with my dad and family. And then go to the races at Gateway. So glad to be going back to Gateway again for the 4th year now. So... and this time it is playoff edition, so that's pretty exciting there. And then, of course, there's your Racing Infinity teaser of what's to come. You see it's going to be a sequel of a relatively popular Racing Infinity from before, so I think you guys are going to like this one for sure. How kind of ironic that Rusty ends up wrecking at the end there at the track that he helped design, and Shauna Robinson winning basically her home track. So, and of course, I've kind of been promoting how they've been like a fun little rivalry within the timeline. So, I don't know. Shauna and Rusty, it seems like a really, really fun and unique and, you know, dynamic rivalry. Couple of, you know, Midwestern drivers. You got Rusty, the St. Louis native. You got Shauna from Iowa. So, things are getting fun. So, again, I think so far so good. I think 2001 has delivered. So, I'm really excited to see how the other two series we need to take care of will far out, and I'm really excited to see how that looks. So, yeah, I think. Anyway, I think. I'm just really excited to see where this goes, especially with Bush and Cup. So, I would say so far it's we've seen a lot of cinematic moments, and I think more is to come. So, like I said, the plan is to make every season bigger than the last, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And then, of course, Racing Infinity, get this video out. Just been a little busy. A lot of things going on, but, still going to keep trucking along and all that fun stuff. So, and again, always a huge thanks to Jets Racing Designs and Rose Jam and Ferris for all their help with Sunday Night Lights and everything else. I always appreciate them. And also, shout out to Griff Dog. If you haven't seen, he's back. Back to making videos, so check out his recent video talking about the Daytona race, that insane 4-wide photo finish, which I guess I'll talk about that real quick because I just realized I didn't do that. The fact that I was at a Linkin Park concert during this race, because Linkin Park has been my number one band. This band, their music has meant a lot to me, and I had a lot of fun getting to see them with my dad and all that. And I checked my phone. It was funny because my friend Michael sends me a DM because I was filming some videos, and I saw a notification. All I saw real quick was Blaney wins, and I was like, oh, cool, okay. And then next thing I know, Jet messages me and goes, we just had a 4-wide photo finish. I went, what the did I miss? So, yeah, it was. I saw the finish. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, that is awesome. I said it. I'll say it again. F1 could never. How about that? In the last couple of years, we've had some really exciting finishes. Obviously, we had the new closest finish in history at Kansas last year, as well as the 3-wide finish at Atlanta, and now the 4-wide finish at Daytona. So when's the 5-wide finish happening? I'm just kidding, but yeah, I think that's the first time we've ever had a 4-wide photo finish at the line at the checkers. The closest thing recently that I can remember to having to that was coming to the white flag at Kentucky in 2020, because they were 4-wide coming to the line there. So absolute craziness. That was awesome. So. We'll see how things go this weekend. We got trucks at Darlington, Xfinity, soon to be O'Reilly. At Portland, again, it's a real bummer that track's not coming back next year. Just because, I think it's important to touch up on different markets and stuff like that. There is a non-zero chance Pocono can handle 5-wide. Oh, yeah, Pocono could pull it off. I think Pocono could pull it off. Michigan probably could, too. So, who knows? Watch as that happens now next year, and I'm like, so, yeah, who knows? Anyway, seriously, thank you guys again for all your support as always. I know it's been a minute with a video, but we're gonna hit the ground running and get this Racing Infinity out in the next couple weeks, and then hopefully by the end of next month get Sunday Night Lights 2001 out. Stay tuned for more information on official release dates for those and all that. And if you guys don't have any other comments, questions, or concerns or anything like that, I'll go ahead and wrap things up for the night. So again, hope you guys enjoyed the races. That Iowa race was pretty crazy that I just ran there. So seems fitting though that Shauna Robinson gets a win at her home track. So yeah, as always, again, thank you guys so much for all your support. I always appreciate it. And yeah, stay tuned for more information. And you guys have a wonderful night. You guys have a wonderful Labor Day weekend in next week ahead. Enjoy the Southern 500. And as always, be kind to one another. Take good care of each other. Be good to one another. And be the best person you can be. So, appreciate you guys. And have a good night. And I'll see you next time.